Hello my friends. Well, today I got a video for you where I tried something and it didn't work. I had this idea to make kind of like a rail that would come out below my table and hold the table in place. But I'm going to show you that sometimes you have an idea and you just can't execute it to satisfaction. So once in a while, I may come up with a good idea, but my lack of carpentry skills renders the idea not really worthy of putting into practice, or at least I try the idea, doesn't work, and that's what happened today. Now, I could say, oh, what a waste of a day. I spent 4 or 5 hours doing this, and what a bummer, blah, blah, blah. But I kind of prefer to be like a half, the glass half full kind of a guy. And it was a lesson learned. Now I know it doesn't work, or it doesn't work to my satisfaction. And move on and try something else. So here we have the latch, and it works pretty good. Hinges are cool. They're like $4 each. But this is where things went wrong. Spent like 4 hours doing this today, and it's a failure. It's a failure because when I open this, this board is actually resting on my legs. Look at all my junk. So what's the point of the wood? When the wood is there, it's very bouncy. Like if I put my legs lower, it's still moving like crazy. And that's partly because not exactly elegant. It's partly because I had to cut this piece out, and it was this big mess. I ended up doing this with a chisel, and if I re-glue this in, which I plan to do, maybe that would give it some stability and stuff, but it's really bouncy. Like, you can see how much wobble there is, and that translates to a table that is not firm enough. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a piece of string or cable that goes from up here and goes into a little hook, and if you make it the right length, it should be exactly coming down the right distance. So I put these little doodads here, and this is another snafu. You can see this side is completely flush and straight and matches up perfectly. But because I'm not really a carpenter, and this van is full of curves and different lengths, this side obviously is like way too deep, and I spent like an hour fiddling with this trying to get it straight. And just wouldn't work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my saw and just cut this whole thing off at an angle like this, so it'll be a lot closer. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to just take this piece out, and there's going to be a hole here, roughly the shape of a square, and I'm just going to take another piece of plywood, pop it in, put some wood glue, and you won't even, well, I don't know if you never know it was there, but it'll be glued with some drywall spackle over it before I paint it. I'll get it nicely sanded, and all these holes will be filled, and Bob's your uncle. There you go. So looking at this table that I put there, it's more like a counter. Some say, hey man, why'd you make that thing so short? Well, it's partly because I'm kind of a tightwad and I didn't want to spend the money. So this piece from this edge to this edge is just over 31 inches. So this piece of pine was 60 inches, so I cut it in half, which means I have just over a ½ inch on either side. So that's why it's a little bit short. And I got the other piece right here, which I'm gonna put at the top, and it's gonna swing out like up to there somehow. So I'm gonna extend these. I'm gonna put a piece in here, extend this, put a piece in there, and it'll be all tiki-poo. But first things first, I gotta make sure I can actually make this table work. Thanks for watching, and be well, my friends.